talking to you about El Dorado, the lost city of gold from Peru. It all began when the Inca civilization grew from Cusco to Machu Picchu, and El Dorado, um, that eventually disappeared, so they couldn't really name it as an area or a place where the Incas were because they're still trying to prove that it was actually there. Cusco was actually the capital of Peru back then, but now it's Lima. Uh, they began learning about El Dorado when the conquistadors started going around the world and they traveled to Peru. They saw that the Cusco and Machu Picchu had millions of furnished gold, artifacts that were gold, tons of jewelry, and they wanted more. So they started getting from different areas, gold here, gold there. They wanted to find the jackpot. So they thought that by finding the lost city, they would get all the gold in the world. Um, Now, the Incas, they worshipped the god of sun. And then by doing that, they would sacrifice a virgin during their traditional sacrifice. They would worship it in Cusco, with this big round sun disk of gold that was pretty humongous and worth a lot. They the Spaniards realized that that's what they wanted, mostly out of all the gold. There was about 700 sheets of gold that were taken from Peru by the Spaniards and the conquistadors. Most of the gold went to the king when they got the money, when they conquered Peru, conquered the tribe area. The Spaniards, the conquistadors, got most of the money. A lot of it went to the king, and according to to a YouTube video that I saw, there is a church in Cusco that was made by the Spaniards in Peru, and the decorations are made out of gold. So they got a lot of gold out of stealing. They basically stole it from Peru. They wanted more. So they thought that by finding the lost city, they would find a lot more. Unfortunately, they didn't find the lost city. So what they did find was Lake Guatavita, which was where the Inca supposedly threw jewelry, gold, well, artifacts that were gold into that lake. So what the Spaniards did was drain out the lake to get some of the gold out. Unfortunately, they couldn't reach much of it, so they didn't really get much, but they got a lot out of the lake. Not everything that they wanted because they couldn't reach it, but they got most from the lake and most from Cusco and Machu Picchu and areas, other tribes that they found around the area, other cities. Um, Lots of people were going crazy over trying to find the rest of the gold in El Dorado, what they basically called it. They say that it's the most beautiful place ever, those who have seen it, but obviously they are long gone, so nobody really knows. Most of the people who have traveled through their expeditions to find it have either ended up getting killed or just died because lack of food, lack of water. Others have died because, it's in the Amazon. It's hidden in the Amazon, so there are wild animals, and some of them just didn't make it. There have been recent expeditions, and according to recent ones in 2010, they used terrestrial radars to see above if they could find any type of like structure around the Amazon, and they did. They found like a round structure that kind of looked like a path in the Amazon, but they still haven't really found anything yet. What they did find was remains from, like, as if the Incas were trying to build another city while the Spaniards were trying to conquer them, but it looks like they didn't make it to be able to escape from them. So there's some type of ruins and clues around, but really nobody has found anything yet. Um, so they're saying that it's a myth, but according to the churches and where the Spaniards got their gold, like how did they get it? They had to have got it from those places, and most likely that's where they said they got it from. So that city, the lost city where all the gold was, has to be somewhere. They think that it's underwater or in caves underwater or even underground. Um, when they discovered that Lake Guatavita was located around the area where El Dorado supposedly was, because they said that El Dorado, the land of gold, was a walking distance 10 days from Cusco, and lots of expeditioners went and did that, but some of them, like I said, didn't make it. People keep trying to seek the lost city, and they say it's probably out there, but some say it's a myth. And like Edgar Allan Poe said, there must, over the mountains of the moon, down the valley of the shadow, ride boldly, if you seek for El Dorado. Some of them just didn't seek boldly. So that is my speech on El Dorado, and thank you.